The soccer teams had a fresh start with the beginning of conference play, but how did they fare? Also, the cross-country team is back in action, while the volleyball team searched for its first A10 win of the season. Let's find out how they did. I'm Dan Ward, and this is Mason Sports Insider. We open up today's episode talking about the women's soccer team. They entered A10 play, ranked the highest among the Atlantic 10 Conference, according to NCAA.com, and they look to carry their out-of-conference success into conference play. They had two home matches last week to open up conference play, the first coming against the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. It was a dark and rainy day last Thursday, causing the game to be moved up from 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock. A cautious St. Bonaventure attack allowed the Patriots to control the flow of the game for most of the first half. Then in the 40th minute, freshman Hugrun Olafsdottir delivered a chip-in pass from the left side of the field, and senior Sarah Hardison would do the rest.
Middle of the box, headed by Hardison, and goal!
Olafsdottir and Alex Myers picked up the assists on Hardison's fifth goal of the season, and the goal proved to be the game winner as neither team would score in the second half, and the Patriots opened up conference play with the 1-0 victory. Now riding a 3-game winning streak, the Patriots' second home conference game of the season was on Sunday, where they hosted the Dayton Flyers, the team that was projected to finish first in the conference in the preseason rankings. Patriots came out aggressive and ready to play in this one. In the first 5 minutes, they rallied off 4 corner kick opportunities, but the Flyers team defense came away with some key blocks to keep the Patriots off the board. The remainder of the first half was a battle with both teams playing aggressively, but neither team able to get on the board. In the second half, the Patriots took advantage of an odd man opportunity, and perfect passing gave the Patriots the 1-0 lead. Nicolette Hertigan and Alex Myers picked up assists on Hardison's 6th goal of the season. 3 minutes later, the Patriots got on the board again. This time, they took advantage of a corner kick opportunity. Kyla Williams delivered a perfect set piece that found who else but Sarah Hardison, who scored her 2nd goal of the game and 3rd of conference play. But the Flyers wouldn't go away quietly. A team that has not been shut out yet this season would not allow it to happen on this night, as in the 63rd minute, their leading goal scorer, Alexis Keel, drew a foul inside the box, setting up a penalty kick. With ease, she drilled it past Kirsten Glad, cutting the deficit to 1. However, that would be all she wrote, as the buzzer would sound with the Patriots still on top 2-1. The Patriots improved to 8-3 on the season and 2-0 in conference play. The victory was the first for Mason over Dayton in 28 years, their last victory coming during the 1988 season. Mason is now 6-2 at home after going 4-4 last year, and they're currently on a 4-game winning streak, their longest since 2009. Head coach Todd Bramble talked about the winning streak after the game, saying, quote, "That feels good. We're trying to win home games in the conference. That's important. I'm really proud of the team and happy for them that they got this result today." This team is on fire right now. Game in and game out, they come in, play a full 90 minutes, and they do so with heart, passion, and skillful soccer. They've been such a fun team to watch this season. Looking more into their stats, against the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, they registered a season-high 23 shots, and then they continued that by out-shooting the Flyers. They were expected to beat the Bonnies, but Dayton is no easy task. That win is huge for them for the remainder of this season. Currently on this 4-game winning streak, they're outscoring opponents 10-4 offense, winning them games, and it is in large part thanks to the senior leadership of the team, Sarah Hardison and Alex Myers. When we take a look at some of their stats, Hardison, with her 3-goal performance this weekend, was rightfully named Offensive Player of the Week in the A10. This is the second time this season she has earned those honors. She has 7 goals this season, 3 in conference play, and 16 total points. Myers, meanwhile, has 2 goals and 3 assists in the last 4 games. She is tied for the team lead in assists with 4, second on the team in goals with 3, and second behind Hardison in points with 10. Other deserving shout-outs go to Kirsten Glad, Nia Elbeck, Hugrun Olafsdottir, Kyla Williams, and every player who has played on this team so far this season. No matter who comes into the game, you feel like the Patriots have a chance to win. They don't get any worse no matter who's on the field, and that's the beauty of this team. They're a balanced team, and a lot of that credit and a lot of their success has to go to Todd Bramble for what he's done so far. This lineup is not 100%, multiple injuries. We talked about Emily Bradshaw going down. There's other injured players that lowers the amount of depth that they have, but he's made it work. And right now, there's no reason why this team can't go far this season. They'll look to continue their success this weekend with 2 road matches, the first against the University of Massachusetts and the second against St. Louis. But now let's stay on the pitch and take a look at the men's soccer team, who opened up their conference schedule with a road game against the VCU Rams. All season long, the problem, as we've talked about, has been with the offense, and on Saturday, it really was no different. The problem arose again as the men's soccer team registered only 1 shot on goal and a total of 7 shots in the game. Only 2 shots were taken after the second half, and that 1 shot on goal was registered in the first 10 minutes. The Rams, meanwhile, had 20 total shots, 8 of which were on goal, and 2 of which found the back of the net, 1 in the 36th minute and 1 in the 79th minute. Mason's record therefore dropped to 2-6-1 on the season and 0-1 in conference play. They'll be back at home this week to try and get up to 500 when they play St. Joseph's. Now this loss hurts even more for the Patriots because it is against the VCU Rams, a rival of ours that we really don't appreciate having to lose a game to. But also, the Rams snuck into the playoffs. I had to mention that. The Rams just barely beat the Patriots sneaking into the playoffs last year. So, now to the Patriots. This team has talent, but for whatever reason, they're not playing with confidence right now, and that's one of the big issues. I am going to keep this one a little bit shorter because I've talked enough about how the offense has struggled and they need to get better this season. But the beauty of college soccer is that it is a 2-season sport. This is a fresh season, fresh start, conference play, throw the other records out the window. They can still be successful, but it's going to take some of you guys to help them out, Mason Nation. Come out to the game this Saturday and help fuel this team. If they can feed off the energy of the fans, if they can put together a 2 or 3 goal game, 3 goals, something they haven't been able to do this season, and then come away with the win and start 1-1, then hey, all bets are off. Anything can happen the rest of the way. There's no reason why they can't be a playoff team. So that's, again, the beauty of it. If you guys come out, support, help them get a turnaround, the turnaround will start this Saturday. Like I said, playing St. Joseph's. Let's go, Mason. Now let's take a look to the women's volleyball team, who are returning home after falling in their first 2 games of A10 play. Now, despite their 0-2 record, the Patriots came in with confidence thanks to competitive play on the road. They faced 2 Rams teams this past weekend, the Rhode Island Rams and the Fordham Rams. The first game was against Rhode Island. Rhode Island came in undefeated in conference play thanks in large part to Lane Self, who is the reigning Defensive Player of the Week. The Rams took the early lead, but the Patriots kept it close, calling a timeout down 12-8. At 18-15, it seemed like Mason might have the momentum on their side thanks to Katrina Santos attacking in the middle of the net, but errors by Mason combined with the defense of Self helped the Rams win 7 of the final 8 points, the last 3 coming off of blocks. The second set was much different, with the Patriots going on a 6-0 run early, but only to see that disappear. It was again close late with the Rams leading 18-16, but then they would go on yet another run to win the set 25-20. Deep in a hole, the Patriots did not respond well as their attack percentage ended up being in the negatives in this game, and it helped the Rams win the third set 25-20 and the match 3-0. Tiffany Clark was the only player with a positive hitting percentage, while Katie Espinoza had a solid game with a team-high 14 digs. So the team would look to rebound quickly with a 24-hour turnaround where they would take on the Fordham Rams. Fordham entered the game 2-1 in the conference, making them a tougher opponent than what was expected prior to the start of the season. The start was much different for the Patriots in this one. In the first set, the Rams struggled to find an offensive rhythm, especially from their freshman superstar, Olivia Fairchild. The Patriots' attack was completely different from the night prior, having only 3 total attack errors in the first set. The efficient attack and exceptional defense, once again led by Katrina Santos, led the Patriots to a 25-17 first set win. Fordham started to find itself in the second set, and the 2 teams were neck and neck all the way through. Patriots jumped to a 24-22 lead thanks to a kill by freshman Bailey Williams, grabbing a double set point. The Rams, however, turned to 2 of their stars in Caitlin Morley and Kristen Ostach, who ran off 4 straight points, stealing the second set 26-24. This turned out to be the turning point for the Patriots, as they were never the same again. They were rusty in the third and got down big late in the set, 19-12. Kills by Fanoga, Clark, and Wells, and 2 errors by Fairchild in the following minutes gave Mason a lifeline as the Patriots came within 3 at 20-17, but the Rams were again the more clinical of the 2 teams as the set entered the closing stage and scored 5 straight points to a set lead in the match, 25-17. In the fourth set, the superstar Fairchild finally showed up. picking up kill after kill in the fourth set to lead the Rams to a 25-29 fourth set win, giving them the 3-1 victory. Fairchild finished with a career-high 24 kills and surpassed 300 kills this season, putting her second in the A10 in total kills. Patriots, meanwhile, fall to 0-4 in conference play, despite having a much better performance in this one. So close, yet so far has been the theme for the volleyball team this season. In all 4 games, with the possible exception of Rhode Island, they played well and were right in the game. It took a historic day for them to be beaten by St. Louis. They took a set from the powerhouse Dayton, and they nearly went up 2-0 on Fordham this past weekend. Sometimes it seems like there's a lack of leadership on the floor, which may be part of the reason why they can't seem to close out games or come away with these key finishes. Tiffany Clark, Jessie Greenslade, Michaela Wells, Katie Espinoza, and Bailey Williams have all tried to play that leadership role, but it's a matter of building the chemistry and designating that one specific leader. Now, while the 0-4 record is by no means the way you want to start conference play, they still have a chance to come back and win. Fans from the Fordham Rams even talked to us after the game and had said that this team is better than their record shows. I know it, fans know it, and now opponents know it. Everybody recognizes it. If they can just put it all together, they have a chance to make a move in this conference. They are a good team. Their schedule isn't incredibly difficult, which benefits them. They've already played the 2 toughest teams in the conference in Dayton and St. Louis. So we'll see. It'll have to come together. They'll have a chance to pick up that first A10 win of the season this weekend with 2 road matches. The cross-country teams were finally back in action for the first time in nearly a month. They hosted the Mason Invitational in what was less than ideal conditions thanks to all the rain we had this past weekend. That didn't stop the Patriots, however, as both the men's and women's teams raced very well, finishing first and second overall respectively. Both teams had 2 runners finish in the top 5. For the men, senior Adam LaFemina finished second overall with a time of 25 minutes, 11.5 seconds, and junior Luke Sharkey finished 5th overall. On the women's side, sophomore Sierra Donahue continues her impressive season, finishing 1st overall with a time of 22 minutes, 1.5 seconds, while Amber Hawkins also had a 5th place finish for the women. The 1st and 2nd place finishes pleased head coach Andrew Gerard, who expects the team to continue to build off this win in the upcoming weeks. The next race will be October 14th at the Wake Forest Invitational, their last race before competing in the A10 Championships. Now we move on to the swimming and diving team, a new team that we haven't talked about yet. They opened up their season this past week, and they did so in dominating fashion at the Potomac Relay Invitational. Both the men's and women's team finished 1st place this weekend, improving on their 1st place finishes at the event that they had last season as well. Overall, Mason won 17 of the 18 events, with the men winning 8 events and the women winning 9. The men had 9 different swimmers lead them to 8 wins, with the only loss being in the 3x100 butterfly relay. On the women's side, Sydney Fisher broke the pool record in the 50-yard freestyle with a time of 23.55 seconds. The women swept their events, sending 10 different swimmers into the pool. A great start to the season for the team, and they will look to carry that momentum into this week's matchup, where they'll take on Navy and UMBC. And then last, but certainly not least, the women's tennis team was scheduled to compete in the Loyola Invitational this past weekend, but results and updates on that haven't appeared on the website yet. So once you see this episode of Mason Sports Insider, check out GoMason.com to find out how your women's tennis team fared. But otherwise, that'll do it for this week's episode of Mason Sports Insider. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule to see who the Patriots play this week. The women's tennis team will partake in a 3-day tournament this weekend in Annapolis, Maryland. Meanwhile, swimming and diving, as just mentioned, will face Navy and UMBC Friday, also in Annapolis, at 4 p.m. Women's soccer has a lot of traveling to do, trying to keep their undefeated conference record alive. They'll play Thursday at UMass at 4 p.m. before traveling to St. Louis for a Sunday game at 1 p.m. Women's volleyball, meanwhile, will play Friday at VCU at 7 and then Sunday at Davidson at 1 p.m. But then the home games that you can see for the Patriots. Men's soccer opening up a 2-game homestand. First home conference game of the season will be Saturday at 7 p.m. Come on out. Versus St. Joe's, and then a weekday game next Wednesday at 7 p.m. versus George Washington. So again, be sure to come out and support. If you can't make it to the home games, you can always tune in and watch them live on Mason Cable Network Channel 8.1 and streaming online on the A10 network. So that'll do it for this week's episode of Mason Sports Insider. Let me know your thoughts on the show by either leaving a comment on YouTube or reaching out to me personally on Facebook or on Twitter at Dan_Ward_11. Until next time, I am Dan Ward saying so long, God bless, and go Patriots.